COVID-19 has upended the rental market as we knew it. This leasing season, you might notice that different types of renters are interested in your properties than in the past, with new items on their wish lists and considerations on their minds. And the residents who currently live in your properties have probably been placing different demands on their space over the last year, which might propel them to look for a home that better suits their changing needs. So how can you anticipate what will attract prospective renters to your properties in 2021, and what will keep your current residents in place? That's where we can help. Buildium surveys thousands of renters every year, and we've identified the 6 types of renter households who are most likely to live in small rental properties like single-family rentals, townhouses, and triple-deckers. We found clear patterns in the properties and offerings that renters are interested in 2021. And in this video, we'll go through the top 3 types of renter households that you'll encounter this year, and how you can anticipate their needs to keep your units full. You can find more information on all 6 renter profiles in Buildium's 2021 Renters Report, and the link is in the description of this video. First, we'll talk about one-person households, who represent 31% of renters in 2021. Renters in this group live by themselves in the rentals, without roommates or family members. The number of one-person households in the US is growing fast, with baby boomers representing a majority of renters who live alone. You're most likely to find them living in one-bedroom units in apartment buildings or in small single-family rental homes. One-person households tend to stick around for years at a time, particularly if they're older. It's easy to take your most stable residents for granted as you work hard to fill vacant units. But from time to time, make sure to take the opportunity to show your appreciation for long-term renters and to make them feel like you're looking out for them. By definition, these renters don't have a safety net of live-in family members or roommates to depend on, which has likely been hard on them during the pandemic. Whether they need help bringing in the groceries or fixing a maintenance issue, making it clear that you're here to help will go a long way toward ensuring their loyalty. Next, we'll talk about couples without kids, who represent 27% of renters in 2021. Renters in this group live with a significant other and no children under the age of 18. Many are younger couples who may choose to have kids in the future, but we've also seen tremendous growth in this group over the last few years from empty nesters over age 65, who are more open to renting now than they were in the past. You'll mainly find couples without kids living in 1 or 2 bedroom units in apartment buildings and in 2 or 3 bedroom single-family rentals. So what can you do to attract and retain this group of renters? Put some thought into how you can alleviate the annoyances of renting to keep them satisfied. Whether they're saving up for their first home or have owned a home in the past, renters in this demographic are keenly aware of any inconveniences in their rental experience. Start by bringing rental processes online, like rent payments and maintenance requests. Consider letting them adopt a pet or personalize their rental to help them think of it as their home in the long term. And when it's time for a new baby or an aging relative to join their family, help them move to a unit that meets their changing needs so you don't lose their business. Last, we'll talk about multi-generational households, who represent 19% of renters in 2021. These renters live with their parents, adult children, or other relatives. Often you'll see middle-aged adults caring for older relatives or young adults who moved in with their parents during the recession. There are now more multi-generational households in the US than at any point since 1950, with 20% of Americans living in homes with multiple generations. You're most likely to find them living in 2 or 3 bedroom units in single-family rentals, apartment buildings, and multifamily homes. So how can you keep multi-generational households happy in your units for years to come? Their primary focus is finding a home that meets everyone's needs, from working parents and college students to young children and retirees. Consider upgrading some of your units to be child safe or ADA accessible. Make sure to highlight the convenience of the neighborhood. For example, you can mention in your listings how close the nearest grocery store and bus stops are. And think about adding amenities that can improve a family's quality of life in their unit, like air conditioning, in-unit laundry, and private outdoor space, though keeping in mind that affordability is also a primary concern for renters with big families. Those are just a few of the insights from the 2021 Renters Report, which digs into these 3 types of renter households in greater detail, plus 3 more that we didn't have time to cover today. When you download the report, you'll learn what each type of renter expects from the rental experience in 2021 and what will drive their decision to stay put or move out. Get your free copy of the report by typing in the URL that's on your screen now or by clicking the link in the video description.